Hello again. We had a brutal crash last night where the software just went down and everything died and it would not reconnect with anything. So we need to do, obviously, some recovery readings. So let's finish off what we started last night and move on to that. Now, what I need to know about my real life soulmate. May wants to know. Page of Swords, interesting. 10 of Wands, okay. 10 of Swords, you got a couple of 10 action here with the Knight of Cups. Now, you are looking at Mr. Romance, again with the Knight of Cups. Very common theme. Let's get the focus a little better. There we go. We are on Mr. Romance. So this is somebody that does make a great connection. They feel like everything is going well. They make you feel like everything is going along smoothly. And I think they know how to progress a relationship, get a relationship moving, get that feeling and get that connection going as well. The Knight of Cups is very good at doing that. That is their specialty. That is what they do the absolute best. Now, let's go to videos and make sure we are actually recording this. Yes, we are. Cool. So yeah, the Knight of Cups, Mr. Romance. We are looking at a couple of 10s. Now, this is sort of interesting. The 10 of Swords is obviously sort of this determining end factor that we have a lot of these with. And then obviously the Wands as well talks about just this hindrance or loading up too much, getting too many things sort of in the mix at the same time. And you sort of see this just being overwhelmed. Now, you do have people watching us being overwhelmed, but this is one of the things where I'm talking about it's a physical soulmate. It's that overwhelming feeling at first. And then we have sort of this termination or this back and forth on and off relationship feel that obviously comes with the 10 of Swords into the Knight of Cups. So physical soulmates, go watch my video on that. It is in the videos. Just search for soulmate. You'll see physical soulmate. There are 3 types. The physical soulmate is one of the great ones, one of the magic ones where everything is great. Everything feels like it's moving forward. It feels like that traditional soulmate feel to where you're just like, yes, we have a lot of action. We have a lot of adventure. It feels like that we are madly in love. Mwah. And the hearts float around, just like during a regular stream, we do have the hearts floating around. So this is literally a soulmate. And we're asking about a real soulmate because this really feels like one. This really feels like one. So you're looking at that as a great possibility for it. Do you get into a mental soulmate, an emotional soulmate? It doesn't have the same feel. It doesn't shake out the same. So it is a little bit different. But for here, we are looking at the traditional soulmate feel with the physicalness. Now, the termination means that it does end and then it does come back again. One of the features of a physical soulmate is once it burns out, once that honeymoon period sort of fades, it does feel like we need a little break and then we can come back later and pick it up where we left off. And that's going to be important with a physical soulmate, as always. The Page of Swords talks about the malleability, the ability for the soulmate to sort of really fit in your life. And that is going to make it last a lot longer as far as a physical soulmate goes than just a traditional day-to-day physical soulmate. Page of Swords does extend the time. It does give us more of an opportunity, more time within that soulmate feel. So that is going to be looking good. So about your real soulmate, you got the best one. You got the physical one. And you have sort of an extension to it, which gives us a great feel for that as well. So there you go. There are the traits about your physical soulmate. Again, sorry about that brutal crash. And hopefully that never happens again because that was wild and terrible because I was sitting there talking to myself for like 10 minutes with everything blinking red on my screen telling me I was disconnected. All right. HX Shimsy wants to know what's my effing problem? Let's be brutal. Be brutal. HX Shimsy wants me to be brutal. Nothing says brutal quite like the Thoth deck. We need the Thoth deck when we are talking about brutal because it doesn't hesitate. It goes straight in there, straight for the jugular. And that's what I like about that Thoth. That's the way my Thoth deck is going to be. Just straight Well, no, mine's a little more furry and comfortable and stuff like that. What is going on with the shuffling? Mine is a little more comfortable and furry and fuzzy, to where you can snug. It's a snuggly thought. That's all you need in life. Once you have the snuggly thought, things go better, things improve, things go well. I may have a snuggle approved box for it. Maybe have like a little lamb's wool. No, that sounds kind of cruel. Maybe have like a soft cotton or something on the outside of the box, or something just to make it nice, because you need a snuggle thought. What is your effing problem? All right, the first is you have too many expectations. You're going into situations with too much. You expect too much. You expect too much. We want the world. We want too much. We're trying to get that. A lot of times it's just coming up dry. We can sort of see that too. The other problem is you feel like you're in a dry, barren state. As per the card, we feel like we're in a dry, barren state, even when you have enough, even when things are going well, even when you're pretty comfortable. I mean, you're not like you're homeless and starving to death or anything like that. It just feels like, but you feel like that sometimes. You feel like life is barren. Life has no meaning. You haven't put in the meaning. You got to put a little effort into that and give yourself some meaning. Give yourself something to look forward to. Give yourself something just crazy good, something that's going to be awesome, something that we can relate to. Life is not as barren as you see it sometimes. Having too many expectations is also really throttling what you can do, throttling life, making it feel like things just aren't the way you want it. It's good to reach. It's good to have that extra reach and just reach out farther and farther, but sometimes you're not able to get that. So, reduce those expectations, take what you can, feel what you can, get that stuff done. That is going to be great for you as it comes across. Now, a lot of times you're trying to balance everything out. You have that Libra feel to where everything needs to be balanced, and everybody needs to be happy and everything needs to be okay. Sometimes it doesn't work. That life doesn't work that way. Life is hectic. Life is full of change. Life, stuff happens you never saw coming. Random stuff, hectic stuff. You have the good and the bad mixture, and you can't just constantly reach for one aspect. So trying to balance things out long term, it's just not going to work for you. Sorry, it's not going to work for you. The last thing, you let things affect you too emotionally too fast. Everything is not an emotional hit to you. Everything is not slapping you in the face emotionally. That's just not happening. A lot of times you just have to take it as it is. Get the judgment and put it aside. You don't have to be judgmental. You don't have to be like that. You don't have to get emotional with every little thing in your life. Just relax. Just relax and just move forward and go forth with that. That is going to be better. Let things take logically. Accept things sometimes with no emotional ties to it. And just accept that, hey, this is the particular way that this goes. So there we go. All right. Elle wants to know what is coming towards me. Give a little bit of future reading. What is coming up in my future? Because 2020 has been quite a hectic mess. For this, let's use everybody's favorite, mine. Let's use mine. My waterfall tarot. Let's use it. Let's get it done. Elle wants to know what is coming towards me. What is in my future? Because 2020 has been a hectic mess. It has been one hectic mess for sure. We don't really want to know. We don't really want to where to go here. What are we going to do here? What is coming in the future? Let's check this out with Elle's question. The Hanged Man, the Hermit, got 2 majors already. The Knight of Swords moving into those 2 majors, and a card that dropped on the floor. The one that dropped on the floor was the 3 of Swords. Maybe I should have left it on the floor. It is the 3 of Swords after all. Nobody really likes that card. That and the 10 of Swords, not popular. So we're going to have to figure out what is happening. The future. All right. This is a cutting card, as I've talked about within my book and audio book and all this other stuff. This is a cutting card, the 3 of Swords. It's almost like that you're getting something snipped a little bit in order to move into a new thing. This is sort of holding back, or something is holding me back. I don't think that is going to be holding you back for long. In other words, I don't think that's a permanent feel to where everything is just bad and terrible. It is holding us back indeed, but it's a little bit of sort of like a Walmart restrictions card in this place, because we're right before this big movement card where we're going to get moving on things. So things are holding you back a little bit. It's almost like you're also recovering for some stuff. So the recovery is going to go well. We're going to move forward. And then we are literally going to launch into the next zone. What is the next zone? What is the next thing sort of coming up? One feel of what's coming up in the future is the Hermit. You're having to walk this path alone. A lot of times we do want some help. We do want some encouragement, some motivation, somebody be behind us going, yay, you're doing awesome, yay. And, you know, it's sort of like this. Hooray! But we just don't feel that. We don't have any of that. And it does have that feel as we're doing the Hermit. Now, is that going to be in an incentive to do anything? Is that going to be like, I'm super excited, I start this movement, I'm getting moving, we're really taking some action on here, but I'm doing it by myself? You do lose a lot of motivation here. It's one of those things where sometimes if you just don't have the help, you just don't have the external motivation, a lot of times you just don't feel like doing a whole lot of anything. You sort of feel that. You know, you start the project, you're going well, you really could use some encouragement, you just don't have it. That's the way it goes. Now, the Hanged Man said at the end of this, as we're progressing forward, we do look at things a little bit differently. We open our eyes, we get the enlightenment that's indicated by the Hanged Man's halo at the very bottom here. And that is going to be encouraging as well. That is going to sort of give us that satisfaction. We did do it alone. Again, that pulls us down, but doing it successfully, getting that beautiful feel at the end of it, that really sort of gives us this really nice, rounded, fun way to sort of intercept and get things done. So you do have good news at the end, but yeah, that alone feel, a lot of times that alone feel just doesn't feel like, feels like we really sort of, we really sort of missed something. All right, Tash wants to know what the surprise is. And we did read Tash before, and Tash had a couple of surprise. So when we said surprise now, Tash, we meant that. We did mean that Nelson, on the meetup, he was going to meet you, but he's trying to distance himself. He does have this sudden surprises that come about sometimes. So you got to sort of, deal with that a little bit. We'll use the Bonefire Tarot. By the way, Bonefire Tarot, in case you're wondering what this is, available on Amazon pretty cheap. I got to say that I am pretty excited about tomorrow. I get my Heaven and Earth Tarot. That's going to be pretty wild. Hopefully that looks as good as the preview pictures. That's a risk that you take. It is. That's a risk that you take, is some of the preview pictures may not look like what they actually are. So, you get the deck and the preview pictures are the only good cards in the whole set. Kind of like a movie where you watch the preview and the preview is not as good as the preview is actually better than the movie. One of those things. What is the surprise? Oh, the Three of Wands, the Queen of Coins, the King of Swords, and the Emperor. Okay, well, clearly Nelson has an issue with sort of being in charge, and that's where some of that feel comes from. Nelson is in control. We established that before. He is in control. The Emperor, it's important for Nelson to be in that control seat. It is. Nelson needs to be in that control seat. He feels most comfortable there. The King of Swords says he does know the line between command and control from the Emperor and being just a complete a-hole from being the King of Swords. The King of Swords is a totalitarian after all. Reversed, we don't really want to push that edge. We know where the edge is. We do. We know where that edge is. We don't want to push it too much. And that's important here. We don't want to push that too much. So the King of Swords says, I don't want to cross that line and be just a complete a-hole, but I do like being in charge. This is something that I do. What is the surprise? The Three of Wands, it's like Nelson is looking at elsewhere. Nelson is looking at other things. The Three of Wands is a planning card, a strategy card. Most love readings, okay, well, many love readings, the Three of Wands does mean I'm kind of looking outside, seeing if the grass is indeed greener on the other side. A lot of times it is. A lot of times it really is greener on the other side. Three of Wands says, I am taking a look there. Not like we're by ourselves over here. I'm taking a look at the other side. So the Three of Wands is sort of important here as we get that feel. Now, the Queen of Coins, the Queen of Coins is the stability factor. I think Nelson is looking for maybe multiple opportunities, multiple things that he can do that are going to be fun, exciting. The ultimate life of Nelson seems, entertainment purposes only, obviously, the ultimate life of Nelson seems to be, hey, I can have a couple of things going at the same time. Maybe sort of navigate that, be successful at that. And that's going to be kind of fun. Have the variety. I can choose later on who's going to be the better one, et cetera, et cetera. So you do have that feel of, again, the Three of Wands. I'm looking around, I'm planning, I'm scanning the environment for maybe the grass is greener on the other side. I'm looking to have a couple of things juggling at the same time. Again, this is all about control. It's not really about anything else other than control. We established that in the last Tash reading. He likes control. Emperor, I like the command. I like to be in control of things. But again, I know the fine line between control and being a complete a-hole. And that's an important line, because once you cross that, you enter a different type of relationship where you're just abusive or something like that. I don't think they want to be there. They know where that line is. So there we go. Again, sorry for the epic stream crash. It was epic indeed. It went down like the Titanic. It was like a virtual tower card, just exploding with red blinking all over the place, and I couldn't get anything back online. Thank you again for all of your donations. I appreciate that, and hopefully, I believe I got everybody that was still pending. Anyway, we'll hope for that never happens again. We will see you tonight. Thanks again, and talk to you then.